What's up, my dudes? The car is still broken from the last event, but the new Knuckles just came in today, so let's open them up and see what we got going on. So I'm actually going to replace the broken Knuckle on the trailer because it can't roll right now and I need to get the car off the trailer. So I won't record any of that because I'm running out of daylight and I just need to hurry it up and get this done. But once the car's home, I will go in depth and show everything that goes into the removal and the replacement of the passenger side Knuckle. So by the next clip, this car should be home and I should have more room to work with. Alright, it's exactly 1 week since I've replaced the driver's side Knuckle and I finally have time to do the passenger side after work, so let's get to it. So on this side we have the coilover, the tow arm, and the upper control arm. And over here we have the traction arm, the caliper has to come out, and the brake caliper bracket also has to go, and also the axle nut. Once all that is disconnected, the Knuckle should still be bolted to the hub and also from the lower control arm, but once you pull the Knuckle and hub out of the axle splines, you should have enough room to hit the 22mm nut that's on the lower control arm. Alright, so all that is disconnected. The splines from the axle are out of the hub, and this is the axle spacer, so that's what that is. So I just need to pull that out, and then I can get to this 22mm nut that is sometimes hard to get off. So I gotta take an impact gun to that. Luckily the taper on mine wasn't too wedged in there and stuck, but I know some people have a really hard time getting theirs off. Sometimes a pickle fork doesn't work, a ball joist separator doesn't work. You could try heating it up and maybe have luck with that, but something I always do if I have room is I put the nut back on and I hit it with a dead blow hammer to loosen up. And I use a dead blow hammer because I don't want a metal, like a little mini sledge, messing up this nut. It's happened to me before and I learned my lesson, so now I use something a little soft so I don't screw up the nut. And this is the reason why I'm putting these PBM Knuckles in, and that is because my driver's side Knuckle broke at the entry at Apple Valley Speedway. I don't know if you guys saw in the last video, but I'll insert the clip right here.
No!
Thankfully there wasn't any more damage, just a broken Knuckle. But I do have to give it up to the stock Knuckles. I've driven at the height that I am with these stock Knuckles for like 10 plus years, so, and they lasted a pretty good while. So what's the difference between the two, and what makes a drop Knuckle a drop Knuckle? Well, the mounting points on the Knuckle where the arms would go, they are a lot lower compared to, let's say, here, and even for the coilover. You can even see right here how you have this big old hole right, versus no hole. This right here is if you are using a Z32 setup, and I think it's like for the big bolt that holds the shoe assembly in place, but I'm not going to be running any of that Z32 stuff. I actually have the whole 300ZX brake set up for this thing. The front 4-piston calipers, the bigger calipers in the rear, the e-brake cables, and the whole e-brake shoe drum setup for the rear. Even the brake master cylinder, I have all of that, but I bought all of that when I was still new to S chassis, and I just knew that that's what people did to these things, and so I bought it all without knowing how to put it on or why people put it on. And the more I looked into how to install it, I'm like, man, this just looks like more trouble than it's worth. So I just ended up sticking with the stock brake caliper and just using Project Mu D-pads, and I've been running that for like over 8 years. I feel like that's more of a purist thing to do now, because the whole setup is super expensive because the calipers are getting harder and harder to find. And I'm still not going to sell mine. I'm keeping on to mine even though I'm not going to use it. But yeah, it's not really worth doing in my opinion. But getting back to the Knuckle, you still use your old hardware for the lower ball joint, the mounting points for all the arms, the toe, upper control arm, and the traction arm. And they do give you these nuts and bolts. This side right here is if you are running a dual caliper setup. I am not, so I'm not going to need this hardware, but this what this side is for. The mounting points for the stock brake caliper bracket are going to be this guy right here, and then this one right here, and this bolt and this bolt. I'm gonna be honest, I really don't know what they're for. I'll do some research and look up on PBM's website and see what those are for, and I'll edit in why they're there. And why would you want your mounting points lowered on your Knuckle? And that's because, let's say this is your arms. Right now they are stretched out and the mounting point on the back of the Knuckle is pointed really high up. The drop knuckles will bring that mounting point lower like that, and it won't be perfect, but it'll get the arms a little bit more parallel. The mounting point on the taper is also lower, so it does bring the lower control arm a little bit more parallel as well. And the coilover mounting point does get dropped down a little bit, so you might need to adjust your coilover. Enough yapping, let's get this all assembled and put back together. Quick note, when you put the taper inside here and you tighten up the nut, if you have a impact socket, the black ones, they're too thick and it hits right here, so you're not gonna be able to fit one in. So that's why I'm using a chrome socket. If you have an extra jack, you can use it to help lift up this whole assembly. That way you're not fighting and picking this up while trying to get the bolts in place. So I got everything bolted on, the toe arm, the bottom mount for the coilover, the traction arm, and the brake assembly is back on. So is the rotor and axle nut. But the only thing that I left out was the upper control arm, because right here it does hit the coilover. So I gotta shave off a little bit of material just so it can clear the coilover. But honestly, it's the design of the Voodoo 13 arm. If these were tubular, I don't think I would be having this problem. But I bought these arms maybe like 8 years ago when Voodoo 13 was brand new, and I thought, damn, these look cool as hell. But I didn't realize how much of a pain they were because they're so thick, and I had to shave off a lot a long time ago for the other side. Don't mind the grease, that's just axle grease. But yeah, if I had to do all over again, I would not get these again. Oh yeah, and another thing, I did have to raise the coilover because this bottom mount used to be all the way up here, like touching this. Like this collar wasn't even here before. Luckily I saved it and I didn't throw it away. But when bolting everything up, this bottom bolt right here was like a lot higher, and it raised everything up here. And then I tried putting on the wheel, and the wheel would not even go in. But yeah, that's it. Not too difficult. I would rate this maybe like a 5 out of 10. It's just unbolting and bolting stuff back on. It's a lot easier than it looks, but you will definitely need an alignment afterwards, so that is going to be the next step. So thank you as always for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.